Welcome traders, the recap of February 21st, 2012 from tradingprobability.com. We're going to go through and talk about our probabilities, our trading for the day, the way we saw the markets, the way we trade our probabilities, and we'll go through it at each report here. So we'll go to our gap trade. Gap trade today, we had overall President's Day can be pretty bearish. We had some gap fading statistics that didn't look very good. We had a 35% win rate, poor profit factor. The gap was pretty balanced. I think it ended up gapping up about 2.5 to 3 handles. But either way, the risk just wasn't there for us. Just a long weekend, long holiday, light trade. We just didn't see any reason to go short at the open today. No real biases down here. 50% for -4. We had looked like a pretty decent fade on a +4 and a go with on a -4. And so we just kind of went into the day not really knowing how the market was going to react, so we're going to look for a balance. And so after the initial balance came, we had a real strange sort of trade today. It just was something that we hadn't seen for a while. And not only did we have the first 30 minutes be the initial balance, but it was 5 handles wide. And so you can see how, we get our open, we get the -10 bar as always. We always look to get long off a -10 outside of the Keltner. We did our buy stop, had a little back test, so it gave us plenty of time to get long. But it's just weird to have this 30-minute low hold through that initial balance. And so we came in here getting long here. We were anticipating a little bit slightly lower low, but didn't want to miss it because we had this doji high close. That's a pretty good confirmation off of a -10 outside of Keltner. That's a pretty good, as good as you're going to get set up for long. All right, and so we hit that. We were basically holding on to this middle area, going to reassess. We had our initial balance report come up, and we had a lot. And when that 30-minute holds that range, sample size just gets killed. It gives a double break warning, meaning both sides of the IB are probably going to get taken. A rotational day. You can see we have an edge to break higher and lower, both good fades. We just didn't have a whole lot of extension outside. We had an edge, like basically a zero edge higher, two handle edge lower, no edge on if we closed above or below the open. We had no real edge if we're going to close above Friday's highs. And so we just had this chop rotational day. So we went in, we saw this edge. We had the edge is going to break higher. We're going to hold for new highs to exit, to look for some buy stops to exit in. We got there +10. We got out, and then it just had this weird, I don't remember seeing a 5-minute setup like this where these candles are just basically in this flat pattern. We basically traded within 2 to 3 handles for about the better part of 2 to 3 hours. And so even though we had these fades showing up here and this edge to the 35 area or the 65 area, we just didn't see any reason to get short in this market, to even trade. Obviously it ended up working where we did break lower, but we just didn't feel any need to trade this. We already had a nice win, so there's no reason to get this kind of historically low probability trading event to eat away at our gains. So once we did break higher, it just sort of confirmed everything for us. You can see, sample size is 0.25% of our total sample, which is pretty poor. But you can see now that it broke higher, it has 100% to break lower. And so this is just giving us these warnings that just more of a rotational trade. We had edge 64.5, and so had you been looking for that, had you got short up here at 64.5, the high of the day came in here at looks like about 65.75. You got a couple dojis low close, and that gave you a pretty good opportunity to short if you're just basing yourself off of this area and the edges. And so the probabilities, although we didn't have the conviction to tell you guys that, hey, get short, if some of you did do that, you rewarded pretty well. This sell-off came pretty well, nice little waterfall for you to get out. So once we did break lower, the probabilities would be the same because it had 100%, so nothing changed in our sample size. And so we basically, we weren't short, so we're looking to get long into this break because we had another rotation. A lot of times those rotational trades will either close at the IB low, initial balance low, or within range. And so we were looking for the 1355 to 52 area to get long. That gave us enough sort of opportunity risk reward to get our trade location in. And we ended up getting down here, oversold, extended. We hit 55.75 low of the day outside of Keltner. Had the high print, high close. And so once we kind of got back tested here, we were able to get a little bit of a long into close, targeted that initial bounce low. And you can see that it had a very weak low today. We had 3 prints at the low of the day, which is pretty rare. It's just another weird, low volatility, low volume day to day. 3 prints at lows, most likely those are going to get taken out tomorrow or the next day. So, basing longs with stops at new lows from today isn't going to be the best trade for you going into tomorrow. But again, another -10 outside of Keltner. Notice the market, no reaction to it, doesn't even try to retrace. Looking for a slightly lower low, coming back in, still outside that Keltner. Here you could have buy stopped that candle. That would have been part of the trade, but trade location for us is we were trying to target this area. That's about 1.5 handles. So we said that even if this one was going to work, we didn't want it because of that risk reward, that trade location. We wanted something lower around, more closer to those edges. And so once we got down here, now that's a little bit better of our risk reward area, and we were able to get in for that trade in the close. But again, pretty crazy day today. Something we hadn't seen for a while, but we're able to take advantage of it just based on the probabilities and sticking to our trading plan. So heading into tomorrow, a little bit more of the same, bullish overall tones. We have, notice the weak low structure today. It looks like a pretty decent fade set up tomorrow to fade the gap. Bullish overall, go with strength, fade weakness. 4-handle bias is mixed, no real edge there, and no previous day's range edge. But if we do break the highs, go with the highs. If we break the lows, fade them. And so basically what you're seeing here is you can see 82% chance overall to break the initial balance high, 41% chance. So right off the bat there, that's a pretty bullish setup. Pretty good breakout numbers here. Very good fade numbers there. Same thing with the 90-minute. Upper target shorts are losers. That just gives you more incentive to hold longs today or tomorrow. No edge on if we break high or low, but you can see go with the high break, fade a low break, edge to close higher, edge to close above the open. No edges really on the first moves, and so pretty good gap fill within range. So you can see within range we have 100% fill rate. All right, outside of range is what skews these numbers a little bit. So as long as we're gapping within range, obviously trade location is going to be key, but we're going to be looking to fade that gap tomorrow unless something should crazy change. But overall, pretty good gap fill rate tomorrow. Again, first move no edge, and then the 4-handle bias is mixed. We have a good win rate, poor profit factor. Most likely again a -4. Look to get long. So, and no real edge on our TP targets. So again, it's pretty mixed. Initially, we're going to have hopefully have a good gap fill trade. But same as always, market closed another new swing high, or it didn't close. It closed basically flat from Friday, but another new swing high intraday today. And so it's just a matter of keeping with the trend. Who cares how far, how long this rally extends? We're going to try to take advantage of it on the long side every day that we can. So basically what we're going for tomorrow is we're basically looking for more strength, more weakness. We're looking at overnight. We're up just a couple ticks, a couple handles, but pretty balanced, nothing too crazy. We'll expect some volatility in the morning. So anyways, good job today, guys. Hopefully we'll see you again tomorrow.